Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining today. I appreciate you being here. Today, we're going to talk about setting up a Read Live account with multiple schools, multiple teachers, and multiple students. Our agenda for today, we're going to talk about, I'll tell you what you get with your Read Live suite. We're going to talk about Clever single sign-on, Classlink rostering and single sign-on, G Suite for education single sign-on, logging in, adding a school, adding staff members, students, and then we have some additional teacher tools at the end that we'll show you. Read Live suite of products you get with Read Live, you get our 4 applications. We have Read Naturally Live, focuses on fluency, phonics, with additional support in vocabulary, spelling, and comprehension. We have Word Warm-Ups, which is our phonics and decoding intervention. We have 1 Minute Reader. This is independent reading program. Students can get working right away with 1 Minute Reader. It is not an intervention. It is an independent reading program. And then we also have Read Naturally Live in Spanish, translated for our multilingual students. As far for Classlink, okay, so Classlink, we offer rostering and single sign-on. It is one rostering and single sign-on. The Classlink administrator, along with your Read Live account administrator, configures the integration via the Read Live staff module, and I will show you that once we start our demonstration. Once it's configured, student access is managed in Classlink. And if you have any questions about this, please reach out to our support staff at support@readnaturally.com or call our 1-800 number, 1-800-788-4085, option 3. And again, I'll show you that setup page in the staff module when we begin our demonstration. For Clever, Clever is a single sign-on solution that we have. And again, the Read Live administrator will configure the Clever district ID in our staff module, and I'll show you that again. Students are added manually or via our proprietary import process that we have, which includes a student email address. And if the email address in Read Live matches the email address in Clever, the student uses the Read Live SSO app in the student dashboard to log in, and they don't need any additional credentials. Again, reach out to support if you have any questions about Clever integration. We also integrate with G Suite for Education for single sign-on. The import of students is done with our proprietary import, which I will be showing. Students must have a Google email address entered in our in the application. We schedule the import. There needs to be a different import for each school in the account. So if you have multiple schools, you will do an individual import for each school. Students are then active the next day to be ready to be assigned a lead teacher. And schools can deliver we have a specific address that is used that can be shared in a Google Classroom that teachers give to students. And we'll see that in the demonstration. So I am going to start a demonstration here. I do need to stop my sharing and start a new share, so I apologize for that. I'm going to share, and here is my... So here we are at our login page. Any new accounts out there, you received an activation letter that does include your login information with a temporary password. We are going to the staff module, so I'm going to log in here. And our orientation and resources page kind of gives you a step-by-step process of how you can get started. So you can use that if you would like. Otherwise, we're going to go to the home page and we're going to get started here. Just to start out, account and school administration here is where we see a summary of what our account looks like. So this account has 200 licenses. 125 are available now, and when the subscription ends, the name of the account and who the main account contact is. And then also here are our schools. So this is where you would add or delete any school that you need. So you're just going to click Add School. You would name your school. And you can decide if you want to reserve licenses for this school. So what this means is the first choice schools can use any available licenses within the account. So if the account has 200 licenses, this school can use anything that might be available. Any of those 200 it can use. If you have a school that paid for a specific amount, then you can choose to reserve a specific amount for a school, and then those are set aside for that school only and taken away from that 200. Save and close here. You can also edit any of these names. If you just click on one of the schools, you can change the name if you'd like. Save and close. So again, these are the lists. This is a list of the schools in the account. I will show you the navigation, some navigation things here. The home button will take you to the home page with the tiles and all the bulleted points underneath that tell you what you can do within that tile. Or you can use the navigation icon in the upper left that will take you anywhere that the home page will take you. So logically, I'm just going to go to staff member administration. So we want to add our schools, then we want to add our staff members. You'll just click Add Staff Member. And then you'll decide what role that staff member is going to have. Account administrators, you can have multiple account administrators in an account. So if you want to share those administrative responsibilities, you can. A school coordinator is basically an account administrator at a specific school. So they don't have overall, they can't add additional schools, but they have full access and administrative rights over a specific school. A teacher a teacher is able to add their own students, but they cannot do any other administration. And if you want a more detailed list of what these roles are, you can click here, learn more about roles. And this is a detailed layout of all the things that each role is able to do. You also will enter the person's email address. This email address is what, so the email address that you enter, and we save and close here. An email, sorry. Just want to show here. An email is generated and sent to that person with a temporary password and instructions to get them logged in. As an administrator, some things that you can do here on the staff member page is if staff member, if a staff member forgets their password, you can click this reset button here, and that will send them a new password. The new temporary password is good for 8 hours. You can also, you may get a call from a teacher that says, my account is locked. A student tried to log in as me too many times, and my account is locked. If that's the case, this would be highlighted in bold, and you would just click it to unlock it. A teacher account will unlock after 30 minutes on its own. And you can always call our 800 number too. We will be able to unlock you as well if anything happens out there. So again, logically, I'm going to click, I'll just go to the navigation here, and I'm going to click Student Administration. And here are our student administration options as an administrator. So here, this student import is our proprietary import that allows you to import multiple students at a time. This is our single sign-on setup here. I'll show you. So if your provider is Classlink, I would just go to Classlink. This is the information that you are going to gather with your Classlink administrator. You will fill out this information, and the instructions are all on this page, and between your Classlink administrator and the Read Live administrator, we'll be able to enter the required information here to configure this rostering. And you would just click Save. Once you have set up Classlink rostering, teachers are no one is no longer able to add students manually. It's all managed through Classlink. So any adds or deletes in Classlink will automatically sync with Read Live. Our Clever integration here, you would just enter the district ID as it's shown in Clever. You may need your Clever administrator to help you with that. And then there are some additional choices here for matching criteria. So if you're if you're importing or rostering students, you can choose to match based on, so automatically matches first name and last name, but you can choose user ID and email as well if you choose to do that. And our Google Classroom configuration, you'll just click Save here. There's no true configuration, just click Save. And again, that would be managed with a student email address to get that signed up. So now let's talk about, I'm going to go back to my student administration page here, and we're going to talk about our student import. This is our proprietary import that is provided by Read Live. If you click on student import, here is in step 1, the instruction, importing student data. This is a detailed document on the requirements of the import file. I'm not going to go into detail about this, but I just want you to note down on the second page, there is a template that you are able to download, and I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to open it. And here you see, this is our import template. So the column headings are already here. They can just leave them as they are. The only required data is first name, last name. We don't require a student ID. You can put it in. We do require a student grade, a student user ID, a student password. And right here, I am going to insert a column. And I'm just going to call this student, student email. So if you are, it's highly recommended. It is not a required field, the student email address. It is required for Google single sign-on, but down the road, there could be more things added. So if you know it and it's easy, put it in, but it is not required. So again, first name, last name, grade, student user ID, and student password. So let me talk about the student user ID and password right now. That student user ID and password is what the student will use if they're using our native student login page to log in. So in the student user ID, use something that they already know. Perhaps they know their student ID, or perhaps it's a lunch number or some other number or some other something that they may use in other applications. And my suggestion would be in the password field to use the same thing in the password field so that they just are entering the same thing twice to get logged in. It'll just ease the login process for students. And even if you're using Google single sign-on, those credentials will override these, but these are requirements of our application, so they do need to be there when you do an import. Excuse me. So you would just populate your student data, first name, last name, as you can. You'll save the file as a CSV file, and then you would go back and import it. I apologize. So I would save that. And then I would go back into my Read Live application. And where did it go? My Zoom thing is taken over. So I have saved that template. So now that I've saved it, I'm ready to import. So again, back on your student administration, import students, we are just going to browse to that import template.
Michelle, we can only see the CSV file. We can't see your Read Live screen.
Okay. Are we good, Christy?
Yeah. Yes, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm just going to browse to my CSV file. Apologize, there's something covering up my windows. So again, this is my import file. I'm going to select a school that it will go into. And this is the results. So it tells you these are my students. If there were any errors, they would be highlighted in yellow and you could just hover over them and then you would be given an example or a description of what the error is. Otherwise, just click next. Proceeding will schedule the import. And now here are my errors showing me I have this student already exists in a different school. So I can print these errors if you want. Now you would go back, correct your errors. These are just duplicate students and grade changes. Some of these would be okay. If you were okay with it, you just say update existing students and then click next and proceed. And now that import has been scheduled for tonight. And your students would then be active in the application tomorrow and ready to be assigned a Read Live lead teacher. One thing I wanted to show you that I missed here is some navigation that you can use in or filtering and sorting of students. Anywhere in the application that you see these little 3 lines in front of a column heading means that you can sort or filter by that column. So if I wanted to look at any student whose first name began with CA, I would click apply. I don't have any. I click reset to reset my filter. I can filter by grade. Let's just choose first grade. Now I'm only seeing my first grade students. Again, just click reset here. If you don't see the reset button, you can just, and I notice the funnel because it's the funnel says I have a filter set. If I want to clear it, I just click and choose reset, and that will get your students back. So that is setting up and configuring an account with multiple schools and multiple teachers. I want to point you to our Read Live help page on our website. It is readnaturally.com. And you can so it would be readnaturally.com, and you have under the training tab there is just a number of things that you can use to get yourself started. If you have questions or anything, please reach out. We're here to help you. 1-800-788-4085. Are there any questions out there, Christy?
Michele, can you just so right now we can see your Read Live page. Can you show how to unlock a teacher?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yep. Send
Yep.
that and how to reset the password. Thank you.
Sure. Yep. So we're you can still see my screen, right, Christy? We're on the staff member login page.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so yep, log in as an administrator. You'll come to the home page. You'll go to staff member administration. And again, this would be highlighted or in bold. You would just click it one time and that would unlock the account and the teacher would be able to log in with their same credentials.
Thanks, Michele. We don't have any other questions, so we are going to sign off. I do want to remind you all that we'll be sending out a follow-up email with a link to a recording in about 24 hours. Please feel free to share that recording with your colleague or colleagues. Please respond to any survey questions that will appear on your screen after the webinar so we can continue to improve the educational experience for all of you and our future webinars. Thank you for participating and enjoy the rest of your day.